We have another participant in the race to make crappy AI tools to make development better by throwing a new IDE out into your browser. I do not think AWS is going to commit this hard to this, but they did, and as such, we have to talk about it. This is from Andy Jassy, who, to be fair, used to be the CEO of AWS and has now moved to be the CEO of all of Amazon. So he has incentives to push Amazon in the direction of AWS and also in the direction of AI tools for AWS, but also he's the boss of all of Amazon. This is the new Bezos. So for him to be coming out and dropping a tweet this long about this, when we started AWS, we looked at the undesirable situation of developers spending 70% of their time on undifferentiated muck of managing infrastructure versus only 30% on what differentiated their customer experience, and aimed to flip that equation on its head. Why does every AI article have so many run-on sentences? Why do... this is probably my least favorite AI trend, is the super crazy run-on sentences. This whole part here is just one sentence. It's made a pretty big difference in innovation and developer productivity. Roughly 18 years later, we're trying to solve another 70-30 like misalignment for devs, where devs are telling us that they're spending roughly 70% of their time on repetitive and tedious tasks in code. Okay. I agree with this part. Developers were spending way too much time on infrastructure. I don't think a lot of y'all even understand, because most of you, myself included some amount, grew up in the era of AWS onwards, where if you needed a server, you'd go to something like AWS and you'd spin up a server. If you need a server to scale, you can use something like Lambda and it just auto scales. These solutions were magical in how much they unlocked for us as developers. They took so much of the time we were wasting and just let us do the thing we wanted to do, which is write the code. I don't believe that 70% of the code that we're doing is repetitive and tedious tasks. I just don't feel that way. I will poll. What percent of your dev time is tedious tasks? Less than 20%, 20 to 50%, 50 to 70%, 70% plus. Meetings don't count, no. Pointless meetings do not count. And again, like the problems they're solving are not the problems that we have. Yeah, so not meetings, but time spent coding on things that are tedious. Answer truthfully. I do want you to answer. Cool. So it's looking like my audience does not agree. In fact, 5% of people are claiming that 70% plus. But like, there are times like design hell, absolutely, that's going to get you stuck in the high like area there. But like the tedious stuff, as Zico said, like Super Maven and other like AI autocomplete tools are already helping so much. We don't need AWS to be investing all this time and money into lowering what is less than 20% of the work that we're doing. I'll make a poll for meetings after. I don't agree with this 70% of their time's on repetitive and tedious tasks. Maybe at certain companies, sometimes, maybe the bias group they're talking to, but I don't believe it. Today, we're launching the general availability of Amazon Q, the world's most capable Gen AI-powered assistant for accelerating software development and leveraging companies' internal data. And that aims to remove much of the muck of repetitive and tedious coding and data tasks for developers and employees at large. Crazy that it can remove the repetitive work, but it can't remove the repetitive sentences. Why is this one sentence? Why is the name of this thing one letter, Q? So they made it the shortest possible name for like the longest possible blob, like just blobs of text. What's going on here? The majority is under 20%. The vast majority is under 50%. And 18% of my audience, 70% of my audience, thinks 50% plus of their time spent on code is tedious stuff. Or how many of your meetings are mostly pointless? I'll do the same numbers. Less than 20%, 20 to 50%, 50 to 70%, 70% plus. On the software development side, Q doesn't just generate code, it also tests code, debugs coding conflicts, and transforms code from one form to another. What is this huge chunk in parentheses? Just make another sentence, and if it's not worth including, don't include it. Today, developers can save months using Q to move from older versions of Java to newer, more secure and capable ones. In the near future, Q will help developers transform their .NET code as well. Okay, if this is what they mean by tedious code, it's like the Amazon definition of we have a bunch of ancient Java versions around we need to update. Yeah. Sure. That could be a useful use case, honestly. The idea of like AI upgrading like a major version of your code, like treating AI like a code mod, but slightly smarter, potentially valuable. If they had opened with this and they like just admitted it was boring, like just say, Q is the boring AI helper tool that does the tedious, annoying, big company tasks no one wants to, like upgrading your Java version. If that's how they opened it and that was the whole tweet, we'd be cool. But instead, they gave me all of this text to shit on and another blog post to complain about too. So we have a lot to go over. Q Agents does multi-step planning and reasoning to allow developers to string together multiple requests and have Q implement them. Does it make one of these plans and one of these steps for every single change it has to make when it's rewriting your Java code base? If so, this is useless. But if it's quiet quietly just telling you, I'm going to change all of these in this way, and then it goes and does it. Cool. I want to see how it's being used. On the internal data side, most companies have volume or more of these words that like there's no way that this was snuck in by anything other than an AI. On the internal data side, most companies have voluminous troves of internally relevant data that resides in wikis, intranet pages, Salesforce, storage repositories like S3, and a bevy of other data stores and SaaS apps that are hard to access. It makes answering straightforward questions about company politics, products, business results, code, people, and many other topics hard and frustrating. Q makes this much simpler. You can point Q at all of your enterprise data repositories and it'll search all this data, summarize logically, analyze trends, and engage a dialogue with customers about it. How long is this first sentence? Okay, that one is that long. This one is this long. What are any of the sentences here more than or like less than like 20 words? Jesus Christ. Speaking of the politics of your company, this poll is a lot more split than the last one, but you can still see not that much time spent on the tedious stuff, although 25% of people think 70+% of their meetings are useless. If you want to solve something with AI, go solve meetings. We also introduced today a powerful new capability called Q Apps. This is just so many words. Just like we also introduced, you don't have to say today or a powerful new like just almost all the words in this just don't need to be there. We also introduced today a powerful new capability called Q Apps, which lets employees describe in natural language what apps they want to build on top of this internal data, and Q Apps will quickly generate that app. This is going to make it so much easier for internal teams to build useful apps from their own data. Customers are gravitating to Q, and we are already seeing companies like Brightcove, British Telecom, Datadog, GitLab, GoDaddy, a bunch of companies, cool. And we've only been in beta till today. Very excited about how Q will change what's possible for our customers and being a part of helping them innovate more quickly. I want to see if AI can do a better job writing a post like this because I am an Amazon PR representative. I am writing a Twitter announcement for our new product, Amazon Q, an AI-powered assistant to help with tedious code tasks at large scales, i.e. upgrading Java versions across a large code base. Can you write me a draft of an announcement post? At least the sentences are shorter. The thing I wanted to try, though, I just want to see how it would do for that. Let's take this. Here's the official post. Can you make it simpler? It's way too wordy. Today marks the launch of Amazon Q, your new Gen AI-powered assistant for software development. With Amazon Q, developers can spend less time on repetitive tasks like transformation and debugging, and more time on creating unique customer experiences. Amazon Q enhances productivity by automating code updates, like upgrading Java versions, testing, and even interacting with your company's internal data across various platforms. It simplifies accessing information and building apps directly from your data stores, making it even easier than ever for teams to innovate. We're thrilled to see companies like... Also, they picked the biggest companies. Important. Not necessarily, okay, not the biggest, but are those the biggest in the list? Most recognizable, especially in the dev space. This is so much better. Like, why wouldn't they have just, like if they're going to use AI to write a shitty announcement, why wouldn't they use the AI to fix a shitty announcement? Oh, don't tell me they have a cringy YouTube video too. Is this the new trend? Are all of these AI tools going to have a cringe YouTube video? We have to watch this, right? Like, we have to. That's the rules. Also, I love they put the watermark on YouTube and on the video. Is it there for the whole video? Please tell me it's there for the whole video. They doubled the watermark. We love that. We love that for them. Oh yeah, what is that gradient? What's going on there? This is so bad. I am so excited. Oh, this sounds like corporate onboarding training music. This sounds like I'm about to like go through an HR class mandated by the state. Oh. This is like the elevator music on the way to your lobotomy. I need to actually look at the content. Write a job posting for a senior product marketing manager role for the AI marketing team with 10 plus years of industry experience, a master's degree, and a background in launching cloud-based products. Did you not just write the job posting there? Oh boy. AI, the best way to make your ask less clear, is actually really funny because in order for the AI to do the right thing, you have to write the concise, focused version to give to the AI that it then bloats and makes miserable. Like, the job posting should have been what he prompted the AI with, not what it's responding with here. You'll be responsible for developing audience-specific messaging, marketing content, and go-to-market materials to drive adoption of our portfolio of cloud-based AI products. Did they use this example because the marketing manager made it or because they need more marketing managers? Amazon Q developer. Here's what we're actually here for. Hi, I'm Amazon Q. I can answer your software development questions. Ask me to explain, debug, or optimize your code. You can enter / to see a list of quick actions. I also love that they're doing like a chatbot that's Q and they're doing code stuff that's Q. They saw what Microsoft and GitHub were doing wrong by reusing the term Copilot for everything. They're like, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the letter Q. They combined the worst thing Elon did, which is make the brand one letter, and the worst thing Microsoft did, which was pollute the namespace of the thing, which was Copilot, and they combined them into something that's even more cringe. I can help upgrade your Java 8 and 11 codebase to Java 17. Site of transformation needs some information from you. Choose the project you want to upgrade and the target code version to upgrade to. Does this work with GitHub? Because I don't think they said that anywhere. I'm sorry, I can't do the music. I tried. I went that long with it. It's so bad. I'm just taking these off. I'm building your project. This can take up to 10 minutes depending on the size. At least it's quicker and they weren't scared to put a time in there. 10 minutes is still a bit much. Time elapsed. They're actually showing the time. They're not hiding it. That's such a nice change. Is that VS Code? Were they using VS Code there? Cool. They're even using like real editors. This thus far is actually a little bit better than I would have expected. They're not hiding as much stuff. And data. So considering how easy it is to misrepresent things with data by like picking incorrectly, there is no world in which an AI tool making data views for you is going to do such in a way that doesn't get you in like literal legal trouble. So I'm even more skeptical of that part, but yeah, they have a separate Amazon Q business, which empowers employees to be more data driven and make better decisions using company data. They really do a separate video for Q business. Oh, the cringe. Are you kidding? With the cringe, like, stock footage? This looks like they bought it on Fiverr. I have to hear the music for this one. I know it's going to be even worse, and I have to know. We all have to know.
What if you could be more productive and check off all your busy work to have more time for the meaningful work that inspires you?
Why is this even worse? Also, why did they have different text on the screen than what they were saying? What is this? What is this? We all suffer together. I'm sorry.
What if you could be more productive and check off all your busy work to have more time for the meaningful work that inspires you? What if you had a superpower to make that possible?
You're going to replace meetings with AI?
Yeah, you do. Amazon Q Business, your generative AI-powered work assistant, helps you accomplish all your tasks. It connects to your company's data, information, and systems to become an expert on your business, instantly able to help every employee complete their tasks, like Jane in HR, asking Amazon Q Business for help creating a job posting for a new product marketing position.
Is this just the same video but made in a different format that they can send to companies they're trying to sell to?
Now Jane is asking Amazon Q.
It's literally the exact same video, but they have a narrator. Are you kidding? Did they show the data part too, or did they skip the data and code parts? Yeah, it's the first third of the last video stretched out with a shitty narrator. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Fake keyboard usage.
Marketing, who just returned from her vacation.
She's not even like touching the keyboard. Yeah, this is just stock. Does anybody have receipts on the stock footage, or did they actually film this? I don't know what I'd prefer, if they bought this footage for $5 or if they actually filmed it themselves. Why do they do this to themselves? I mean, I know why. They're trying to have their stock go up. That's what all of this is. Ugh. A new capability of Amazon Q Business, Amazon Q Apps, lets employees build generative AI-powered apps from their company's data without any prior coding experience. Employees simply describe the type of app they want in natural language, and Q Apps will quickly generate an app that accomplishes their desired task, helping them streamline and automate their daily workflow, or their daily work with ease and efficiency. These fucking run-on sentences, man. Okay, new litmus test. The number of times the word natural comes up in your blog post is directly correlated to how likely I am to not give a fuck about your product. Like if we go back to the GitHub Copilot one, natural comes up 7 times in here, and I think this is the stupidest shit. It comes up 3 times in here, and I think there is actually some potential value here. But if we go to like an OpenAI blog post, the OpenAI website is down. Holy shit. And look at that. In the ChatGPT announcement, the word natural doesn't occur once because ChatGPT, unlike everything else we've talked about, is actually kind of useful. Crazy, I know. But like, hopefully you're starting to get the point I'm trying to make here, that they're filling these things with fluff not with like actual meaning, which is annoying. That said, Lee did have one good take I want to highlight. More companies are going direct to developers on socials, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, etc., meeting them where they're at. Smaller companies are skipping the press release entirely. This is the most important piece here, but all of this is true. Like, how wild is it that Andy Jassy is tweeting his own custom version of their announcement in order for this to be shared on Twitter and go viral? Like, this got 500,000 views and 2.6K likes. It's working for them, which is very interesting. But it's interesting that smaller companies are just skipping that press release part and just tweeting out like, hey, it works now. Here's a link to what we built. Like, most of Super Maven's announcements are just on Twitter. Most of like Ping's announcements are just on Twitter. We don't even have a blog for Ping, really. Like, smaller companies are realizing social media is the way to do these things. And it's funny because like the AI companies are doing both. Like, what Amazon's doing here is the attempt, the fellow kid style attempt to do social media, and then the like most cringy business side thing I can imagine here. 3-minute read, that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. This is way longer than 3 minutes. Those estimates are terrible, but it's far from the only terrible thing that we've seen here. I don't know what else I have to say because obviously I can't use this, and it seems like it's built for Java devs that don't really know what AI is, but good for Amazon, I guess. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm done with this one. Peace, nerds.